New AMC court letter encompasses all the messed up stuff the apes have been witnessing over the past 2.5 years. What a well-written letter in support of the reverse split and dismissal. References include FTX, fails to delivers, on balance volume, GameStop report, Reg SHO, Archegos, Citadel, Virtu, BAC. Well done, AMC. If you guys would like to submit an anonymous letter, I'm going to leave the link on how to get there so that you can submit your DD if you want to the court. Now, maybe they won't do anything with this, but again, I know some of you apes out there do some awesome DD yourself and would probably like this link, so I'll leave it in the comments. Overall, guys, we have a lot of stuff to go over with AMC, so make sure to stay till the end of the video so you don't have to watch another update video here on YouTube. All I ask in return, it's free. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into the video. Paramount stock plummets after earnings show widening streaming losses, which is technically a good thing for AMC and movie theaters as a whole, because if streaming is going down and more people are entering theaters, this is going to kill more competition, thus regaining popularity through movie theaters as a whole, which is a fundamental good thing to see for AMC and all the other movie theater companies out there. Now, Crystal Ball posted this on Twitter, which has posted several good threads of DD, but back September 23rd of 2022, he tweeted, "Why are AMC and Ape failed to deliver? Numbers lowered. Brokers, market makers, and hedge funds use buy right trades and married puts reset transactions to reset fails to deliver and avoid closing them out and locating shares for synthetic positions from naked shorting." It's all outlined here. And yes, of course, he does post screenshots, links, so on and so forth, but he came out today recently and stated, "Married puts are being used to reset FTDs. Contrary to Reg SHO 204, this is not bona fide market making. Married puts are used to fake locates." Now, this is something that I think would be greatly appreciated when brought up to the court, but it may have to be brought up within a new case because, of course, they only want purely legal stuff pointed to them, and they might not even take a look at anonymous letters. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. How would this stop if we continue to have an options chain on AMC and Ape? In my opinion, it's a very valid statement, and it's probably exactly what they're doing, because you do not see the price action reflect fails to delivers that stack up. They all just get wiped away. They are just adding up in a different spot like they have been doing, which we're going to get to in 1 minute. Small banks are continuously dying. KRE, a regional bank ETF, down 9%, MCB down 20%, WAL stock down 54%, PACW down 57%. And the best part about all of this is we called out ticker symbol PACW in Discord 2 days ago, calling out puts on this stock. Now, most regional banks are down 95 to 97% in 2 months. So overall, I think the best plays here are just betting against small banks. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But how does this affect AMC? How does this correlate to AMC and the squeeze in general? I think this is just the start. Aside from phase 6, the contracts to haircuts, etc., etc. Hang Loose tweeted this: "These bank failures are part of the plan. They are instituting a monopolization of the banking industry at pennies on the dollar while unloading toxic derivatives into these failing banks, and off the books of the GSIBs, they improved their fraud from 2008. Now, if you go into the comments, the big question is, these counterparties who have assumed the toxic derivatives are now bordering and defunct. What happens to that underlying liability? Does it just disappear into the ether? With regard to bundled no-locate swaps to roll Reg SHO, who holds the bag?" Hang Loose then comments back at him and says, "Repackage and give them 30 to 50 year maturity dates so the next generation has to deal with it." Pretty much the same thing that they have been doing with the debt ceiling. Make infinite promises to pay up later. That way they never actually have to pay. It won't stop until the 99% completely revolts. Now, speaking of banks collapsing and short selling, the SEC isn't considering moratorium on short selling of banks right now, meaning the SEC will allow the short selling of banks even while they're getting slaughtered, which I don't see why they wouldn't. They didn't stop this for our meme stocks. In fact, they let them only short our meme stocks when they took the buy button away. Now, former JP Morgan trader reveals how his mentor taught him to place and cancel bogus trades to manipulate stock markets. We are going to talk about spoofing and touch on this subject about JP Morgan trader revealing how his mentor told him to basically manipulate markets. But real quick, before we do that, if you guys want up to 15 free stocks, use my link in the top of the description or in the comments down below to download Moomoo and make a deposit so that you guys can start earning free stocks, each valued up to $2,000 per stock, for just signing up and making a deposit. Yes, any deposit. It can literally be a penny, so you guys can start earning free stocks from there, as well as getting free level 2 order book data, access to trading options, going long, going short, viewing other exchanges, a customizable earnings calendar, and more. So seriously, go do that. And also, guys, if you don't want to miss a stock call out, join the Discord. That link is under the description and in the comments down below. Now, speaking of spoofing and market manipulation, this was in the dark pool today. a 500,000 trade at $5.95. But how did they get this trade when AMC didn't even trade at $5.95 today? Now, currently, as I'm making this video, it did not trade at that price, not once, but somehow they got this. This is dark pool manipulation at its finest, and just for that, I'm going to retweet this. I suggest all of you do the same and tag the SEC, Gary Gensler, so on and so forth. Now, touching on the AMC Ortex numbers real quick, 25.47% short interest. Utilization, of course, still maxed out. The cost to borrow sitting at 326% for an average, 336 for a max. As for a 5% short interest, utilization 53%, cost to borrow not being reported once again on Ortex. Now, it's not just small banks. Citigroup down 3%, Deutsche Bank down 3%, Credit Suisse down 1.85%, UBS 3.5%, Bank of America down 3.45%, and this is essentially just the start. If you guys want to know what banks to play puts and when to play puts, make sure to pop in the Discord so we can trade those together. I am in there on the daily and disclose all of my trades in there as soon as I take them. Now, the Fed decision came out yesterday. You probably heard all about it, but the SPY is basically dying. You guys remember when I said this from my last video? It is sitting at 411.44, and there is a lot of uncertainty floating around within the market, and if this thing does sell off, I would watch 408, 404, and then 400. Well, yeah, the Fed raised interest rates by 0.25 BPS. The Fed omits prior language signaling more hikes ahead. They will continue reducing balance sheet as planned, and they say that the 25 BPS rate hike was basically unanimous, which everybody was expecting a 0.25 BPS, and apparently the Fed seems to be opening the door for a pivot. Interest rate futures now showing rate cuts beginning in September. After this decision, the Fed is pulling back on their hawkish tone as the banking crisis worsens. It is possible that we are already in a recession. Now, they also changed one thing in red line from recent development are likely to result in tighter conditions to just tighter credit conditions. Some additional policy firming may be appropriate. This was also removed. Now, keep in mind the US government most likely to run out of cash to pay the bills on June 8th, which is not going to be good, at least as of right now, and more layoffs are coming as Shopify to lay off 20% of its employees. The SPY may have a temporary bounce here because it is at the bottom of the Bollinger Bands for one. For two, all of the people who played puts from this top to the bottom, it is just due for a relief bounce, even if it is a tiny one. At most, coming back up to 408.50 and getting a rejection before getting smacked hard. As for AMC, we do have earnings Friday, of course. That is what everybody is looking forward to. We're trading at $5.86, up 2% on the day, and as the chart is looking right now, the stock is still controlled. It's moving slow. It's moving with low volume. However, it is still currently climbing. I'm just waiting for that retracement. We have talked about that retracement coming into earnings, and at this point, if we continue to trade like this, we're actually going to scale up into earnings, which makes me think that they are going to smack it after hours when earnings actually hits. Seems like they're letting it scale up into earnings to have a perfect double top before getting smacked into the floor and getting that little bit of a retracement. But again, even after this red cycle is completed, we are still waiting for that major rip. Right now, we are just in this temporary zone where we are assuming AMC is going to do this or that before the major rip. So just keep that in the back of your head. As for GameStop, will rip with AMC. However, the way it's setting up, tracking the gray cycle on GameStop, keep this in mind. It got this temporary bounce up here that you saw in gray. It got it right now, and it is due for a sell-off. I think they're timing it with AMC to have a sympathy drop. They're going to drop both of them on Friday amongst the earnings, unless AMC somehow has insane positive earnings. But again, keep that in mind. I think they're waiting for Friday to tank both of these. This is my short-term outlook. Of course, before that major rip, I would watch $16 for GameStop going into after hours on Friday, going into Monday next week. Overall, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video or found value out of the video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. As always, have post notifications on so you guys don't miss another upload. Keep in mind, GameStop and AMC stock are trending on Twitter. I love you all. Lottery stocks out.